My name is Omika Umiokanko.
My name is Alison Mora.
I'm Robbie Davis.
My name is Musel Lola.
My name is Paula DePass Dennis.
I identify as a straight, cisgender, multi-ethnic, Mexican-American, second-generation woman.
I am an African American Latina woman.
I identify as a Black cisgender woman.
I identify myself first and foremost as Black, and then I identify by ethnicity from East Africa, and also by religion, Muslim.
I identify as Black American. I am an American descendant of slavery.
Have you ever been a victim of racism or discrimination?
Racism definitely impacts me on a professional level as I'm an educator, and it also impacts me on a personal level as I am a mother of 4 teenagers.
Everything that my life consists of, there's been a piece of racism.
Sometimes it can be hard to kind of think of just one experience since it's been such a predominant aspect of my life.
There are times where I can walk through a grocery store and know that I'm being zoned in on and being watched.
Let's talk about the last time that I was racially profiled, I'll say, and that was with the police department. And I had to explain to them who I was and where I worked and what kind of work I did in the community just for them to even listen. They had automatically thought because I had clients around me that fit a certain stereotype that they were guilty. So I had to protect not only myself but other people.
Racism doesn't include or look kindly of a young Black man.
How has structural racism affected your environment, health, and well-being?
I would say structural racism has also affected my health and well-being and environment. For a long time, a lot of it was in ways that I did not understand.
You forget to eat, you forget to drink water, you forget to exercise, you forget to take care of the everyday things that you normally would.
I developed a bleeding ulcer at age 20, which is concurrent with the stresses that you receive. And it's actually a disease that's commonly for older adults, not necessarily somebody who's just turned 20.
I look at structural racism as really a disease that permeates through all of us. There are positive consequences for some folks.
It's not only limited to whites, but also that some Asian community and other communities have racism that they follow because of the way this country was set up.
How can we prevent this from happening to other people?
Racism needs to be cured, and one of the cures starts with each person individually starting to shift their mental models, meaning we have to do internal work to rid ourselves of some of the biases that we have going on. So that's one piece, that's the personal piece. And then the other piece is accountability. If there are people who are unwilling or not able for whatever reason to do their own internal work,
there needs to be that level of accountability to make sure that it is moving forward. And some things take a long time. We may not see it in our generation, but that the work that is done is still important and valid, and that it'll be important as a foundation for future generations to keep on doing that kind of work.
What can we do to educate people about how this affects people of color?
So when we look at racism within the school district, we know that students of color, specifically Black and brown students, are over-identified for special education, under-identified for gifted programs like TAG.
I've seen a lot of things in my 30 years of education. These experiences have affected me very negatively, but it's also given me a reason to go and fight for our students of color. It's made me want to have race talks in my classrooms so students of all colors can understand the impacts of racism.
The best way for us to educate other people about racism and discrimination would be to teach everyone about racism and discrimination and do it early on before they even start school. What's right, what's wrong, what on the playgrounds, at school, in the lunchrooms, in the cafeteria, PE classes.
Have everybody meet at least somebody who's a black color. That's the best way to do that. Learn from their experience.
Bringing the voices and the perspectives and the lived experiences of people of color at the forefront.
There's a lot of people that shy away, but I think the education piece and really talking to kids and adults as well. I think my students are more open than adults are to having that conversation.
How do you think we can educate our younger generation when it comes to this topic?
Personally, I think that the older generation, we should be listening in to our younger generation and really hearing how they want the world.
Listen to their voices, listen to their music, and listen to what they like, because they tell their own story through the music and through their own art and their own culture. So if we're listening to all of the messages, then we're able to communicate and see exactly what is missing.